Everyone, welcome to Between the Lines, Memorial Day edition. Um, really glad that you guys are all here, and we really wanted to start the show off paying honor and respect to our United States veterans of the armed forces, current and former veterans. And I, there was a big thing about playing taps at 3 p.m. local time. I'm a little late, 4 p.m., but that's just how it lines up with the show today. But um, you may have heard a lot of people playing taps today, and just wanted to show honor and respect. So today we have a special treat for you guys. We're going to be doing an interview with Staff Sergeant Keegan Jarvis with the Iowa National Guard. Got that interview coming up for you just a second here. A couple quick housekeeping notes is we should be going with our brand new dedicated Between the Lines YouTube channel and probably Facebook channel here next week. And getting that all set up now, as well as BTLlive.com. You guys have been seeing the logos now. If you go to the site today, it's not going to look very good. I'm still working on the maintenance page so I can get that thing there, but you can kind of get a sense of the website too. Anyway, without further ado, I want to go ahead and get to this interview today. It's really enlightening. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. Keegan is very charismatic and he is very honest, and I think he's going to give you guys a different perspective of what it's like to serve in the National Guard and the military, both standard duty and active duty as he does. So we're going to go ahead and listen to that, and I'm sure he would appreciate the likes, comments, and subscribes that we can get from this, and see how he does, I guess. So thank you guys so much again, and we'll be back in a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me now in the studio, well, not really in the studio, but at least here with us today via virtual call is a very good friend of mine. It is Staff Sergeant Keegan Jarvis with the Iowa Air National Guard, and he is in his natural habitat, he tells me. He is in his excavator. How are you doing today, Staff Sergeant Jarvis?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm doing wonderful. It's amazing to think about where we are right now as far as our military strength, our the fact that we're hopefully able to wind down the conflict going on over in Afghanistan at the end of the year, and as we remember everything that's going on, that we see nationally, and obviously who we're remembering today in honor of Memorial Day. I thought it would be very interesting to have a veteran like yourself come on and tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of give us your story and maybe the day-to-day life of what it's like for you, especially being in the Iowa Air National Guard, and what some of those experiences are. So I guess, well, obviously I know your rank and everything, but how did you get to be a staff sergeant?
Well, in the Air Force, your promotion is based on a couple different things. In the Air Guard, your promotion is a little bit different, but yeah, it's based on some very general things, which you have to do your career development courses, which are an extension of what you learned in your technical training. It's like a college course that kind of refreshes you on those things and kind of expounds on some of those concepts a little bit deeper. At that point, you also have some simple tasks that deal with your career field that you need to be able to do. For example, I'm a heavy equipment operator. I need to be able to, for that, to upgrade from a 3 level to a 5 level. I need to be able to change the buckets on a skid loader or attachments. You need to be able to know how to safely utilize different pieces of equipment, just general things like that. And then from there, you would be eligible for a promotion, and then from there, you would have another level of training that you would complete, and that would be more in depth, a little more in depth, like the pretty much can you manage a project, can you figure out material requirements, things of that nature.
Excellent. And yeah, like I was just kind of thinking about this. So obviously you do this, it looks like, in your day-to-day life. And like I said, you're in an excavator right now. Is that something that you always wanted to do? Or was it something that just kind of happened for you? And how did that placement kind of work for you?
I've always loved heavy equipment, and I've always been one of these types of person that I put one foot in front of another and try to go in the general direction that I would like to go. And sometimes it doesn't always work for me. And, and sometimes that's, I should have done different things to be more successful in my endeavors. But generally speaking, you put right foot in front of your left foot, and you go in the general direction you want to go, and it generally takes you where you want to be. So yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't never know whether I was going to go to work for somebody, operating heavy equipment, or
Yeah,
whether I was going to own
sure.
my own company, or what I was going to do. And, I own a scrap metal company that's wildly successful. I'm very blessed to have really amazing clients. And this is a machine that I use from time to time, um, in many ways. So, I mean, yeah, to say that, you know, it's not the air guard that brought me to want to have this machine, or it wasn't like I've got it,
Hmm.
I would have done it regardless of whether I had been a participant in the Air Guard or whether I had changed careers, um, to become an equipment operator or what. I still would have had the machines, I feel like.
Excellent. And that was kind of something else I was going to bring up too. I mean, so for you, it sort of followed the natural path of, success for you. My guess my next question would be is, you were telling me earlier that you have done not one but even two tours of active duty. But maybe describe two things here. The first would be like just being a regular member in the in the National Guard, or maybe even more specifically the Air National Guard. What a typical, because it's voluntary. It's like a, or not voluntary. It's part time service, right? But then there is that
Mhm.
aspect of active duty. Can you walk me through maybe the lead up to maybe active duty, and then the transition from going from the, I think it's like once a month that you go do training and do some work down at a base, and then like every 2 years or so, something like that, you go on active duty, or how does all that work for you?
There are tours that you can apply for. Um, you can ask around, and from time to time, they need certain people in certain career fields to go to certain places and do, their job. And those opportunities are out there. I know that, on the ground level, as somebody who staff sergeant rank and below, you're always looking for these opportunities. How do I get to do the nuts and bolts, the hands-on work that I do, um, in the guard on an active duty TDY, what we call TDY, temporary duty assignment. Um, and that's important to keep your job proficiency. And I mean, if you do it on the outside, it's really nothing. It's just wearing a different uh, wearing a different uniform, and coming in and doing it from a perspective of the job that you're performing, the actual work that you're getting done. Um, but it's we're always looking for those opportunities, and the Guard Bureau, and I think some wings work a little better than others, and they seek those opportunities out, and they say, I have X amount of men who would like to come and do their job for X amount of days, and then they kind of look at the funding, and how do we get people, logistically speaking, is this something that we can do?
Okay.
As far as your deployments, so there are deployments that come up. Generally speaking, um, you will accept those if you possibly can. You will, if there's a reason not to. Your chain of command will look into it and see if pretty much voluntary deployments are voluntary,
Hmm.
but deployments are expected, and they should be. You you sign on the dotted line that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And being one of these guys who skates through their whole career and never comes to activation is not. Now, there's been times when we're not in war where there maybe hasn't been those. So I tread a line there where I say, um, where I don't speak down on those who haven't maybe been activated as much,
Hmm.
but it wasn't due to their own. It wasn't due to an unwillingness on their part to show up when they were asked. Um, there is a very, very, very small percentage who do not want to show up. They only want to participate in the fun little TDYs, but they don't want to take a 6 month tour, or whatever. And those are the guys that it becomes a hard conversation that their unit has to have with them, or should be having with them if they're not, about, hey, what are we doing here? We're expecting you to not only eat your sweets, but eat your vegetables too, if you will.
Gotcha. Is there
So
a time commitment or a contract length that you commit to, serving in the Air Guard?
4 years would be a pretty standard period of time. Again, I'm throwing that out there as a reference and not as a, so that way I don't, say something that a malign actor could use.
Right. Um, can I ask, just kind of given your experience, I mean, you're a staff sergeant now, so you've worked your way up to some of the ranks at least. How can I ask how long you've been serving in the Air Guard?
So I've been in for 15 years. In December will be my.
So 15 years.
Yeah, and I mean, in the guard, what happens is um you can make rank a lot quicker if you're willing to move from shop to shop to shop. For
Hmm.
example, there is opportunities if I had wanted to have pursued another stripe,
Right.
um, pursued a higher rank, and then from that, so in the guard, it's a lot more of a if there's a rank available or if you're willing to change shops to get that rank. So 15 years as a staff sergeant, generally speaking, like on the active duty side, you would be hitting what's called high year tenure. In other words, you've only made staff sergeant in 15 years. You suck at life. Let's get you out.
Oh.
Um, but again, I don't want to say too much on that, but to the average viewer here, they may have said my Air Force career 15 years in, I was an E7. I was a master sergeant tour. And to each their own. And I applaud that, but I would say that one of the things that we got to remember is that in the guard, it's kind of based on where the rank is available and how motivated an individual is to change shops to take that rank. And I haven't really been in a position where, with my own company where I could retrain to another job, and nor was I 100% sure and have confidence that doing that was going to be the right move for the unit or for what I had to give the unit.
Right. I guess can you let's kind of dive into some nuts and bolts a little bit here, but can you talk about or share some of the emotions that you were having on some of your deployments or some of the daily grinds or some of the real struggles that you had, I know you said you're a heavy equipment operator. I can't, well, I should ask. I mean, did you actually see any kind of combat? Was there any kind of hostility that you had to deal with while on deployment? And if not, or if so, kind of go based off that, what were some of the struggles that you were having on deployment?
I'm going to be honest with you. I never saw any combat. Um, it was really a very safe place where we were at. What I was doing there was a support role for those who were stationed there. I guess you could say I mean I saw the remnants of combat. I mean, the blown up buildings and all kinds of stuff because they were all around you. But it wasn't like I was seeing active combat or I was taking up a rifle to just anything like that. It wasn't none of that. I can tell you, I think the biggest stressor is people. I think you get the wrong people in the wrong places, and it's the same stuff stateside. So I think that when you get the wrong people in the wrong places, really bad things can happen. I will say on my last deployment, I really wanted better for you know less than 1% of people in the United States will have the pleasure and the honor to serve. And when I see people do things that put others at risk because of their own ego and their own attitude, it really hurts. And it's like, hey, wait a minute. At what point, you know, in the Air Force, our core values are integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do.
Mm.
And there's no integrity in putting your ego above what you do. There's no service before self when you shove somebody else down to bring yourself up. And there's no excellence in all you do when you do that, let alone when you leave crappy work behind that you are sitting there remarking, "Oh, I can't see that from my house. It's 2,000
Right.
miles away." You want better for people, but I think that some of the behavior that was modeled at the very top of our food chain, um, maybe in the presidency showed a lot of that behavior, and I think it kind of further emboldened sometimes the worst actions in people. And I'm not trying to make a political statement there. I just feel that America deserves better, and America deserves better out of its servicemen and the leader of its service to show dignity, to show respect, to show honesty, and to show character. And that was lacking.
So everyone's entitled to their own political opinion, but when you put on the uniform, it really becomes a different dynamic that um, you have to put your personal emotions about the political climate or the reason that you're over maybe in a particular geographic area aside and focus on the job at hand and focus on actually serving, right? You kind of put all those extra things and check them at the door.
The military is an apolitical organization. That means the military does not have a stance on who should be president. You will meet a lot of people in the military who feel very strongly that the Defense Department should be supported heavily, as do I.
Mm-hmm.
I would say you'd probably, statistically speaking, a lot more of them would really more support the Second Amendment. Again, this is statistical. This is not a statement on behalf of any military organization. Military
Right.
is a political organization, does not support one party or another, does not support one politician or another. Those are what I personally have found. But I would say, though, that when somebody says something or they see something that the president says or does, if you believe that's prejudice to good order and discipline in the military or in the unit, or if you believe that is detrimental to your project or to the people that you lead, you have the right to call that behavior out. What you don't have the right to do is say, and I am saying this in a hypothetical and for a point of demonstrating. I cannot say the current president is a jack. I can't do that. What I can say is the current president just said, I'm trying to think of an example here. The current president just said X, Y, Z. That is not the way that we are called to conduct ourselves. And I don't want to hear you take that logic and apply it to what we're doing here.
Right.
And you can say that too, and you can engage in those conversations. There's been many a conversation, at the dining facility or whatever about political issues, and it generally gets pretty heated. So we generally don't try to do that. But I don't know.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, so you're trying to balance it. Was it hard? And we're gonna wrap this up here pretty quick too. But and by the way, thank you so much for your time. Really does mean a lot to not only me but hopefully the viewers as well. But was there any kind of difficulty transitioning from active duty back to a more civilian life?
I will praise the Air Guard and the military in general. They've done a very good job in trying to fix some of the issues of the past. I mean, obviously, there's still continued work to go, but you always give praise and you always give compliments to those who've done great things, and they're continuing to try to ease that transition back to civilian life from deployment or from active duty, and they've put some programs out there that are quite helpful. There's a huge amount of employers out there that really respect and appreciate and would love to have military people come to work for them.
Did you, if you don't mind me asking, and you don't feel free to answer this at your own will, but when you did you have any kind of injuries or anything like that while you were over there? And if so, when you came back, do you feel like the VA and the other medical systems in place took care of you while you were there, and then when you came back stateside?
I did. I suffered a few injuries over there, and it's been a hard process for me to comprehend why and some of the factors behind it. It's very frustrating to me that the things that I sustained those injuries over there. I have full confidence in the VA, and I know that the VA has had issues in the past,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that we have a congressman, or I'm sorry, she's a congresswoman I won't say any names, but I know that there was a specific incident with a Army soldier who ended up taking his own life. And I'm thankful. I mean, I don't agree with this congresswoman and everything she does, but I'm very thankful with how swift and how uh, steadfast her actions were to make sure that our fallen comrade was not left behind.
I think I know
And I
exactly who
think
you're
that
talking about too. So,
we need to understand that there are so many people that come back and they don't get what they don't get a warm welcome, or they can't
yeah.
seek that help, and my heart goes out to every one of them. It's just it's I have been so blessed in my career, and there's so many people who have given so much more than I've ever thought of, and I just, I don't, I thank other military people for their service, and
Mhm.
my heart goes out to anybody. One of the things I did on active duty was a volunteer project where we helped homeless veterans, and some of them had some stories that were gut wrenching. And you think, here you're clipping these people's toenails, and you're taking care of them, you're helping cut their hair and stuff
Wow.
like that. And you're giving back to these people, and you just think, I can't even begin to give back what you gave to the country that we both love. And I do want to make one point that I want every American, I challenge every American to think how lucky we are, how blessed we are to wake up every day in a free country.
Amen. Truly,
I
amen.
know America has its issues. I know that we have political divides. I know that we have social justice issues that probably are not resolved. I also know that we have people who utilize those social justice issues to be a pack of hooligans. And neither person is right. Uh, we really need to, if we're going to honor, I think the best way that we can honor our veterans and thank a veteran for their service is to remember we are not red, we are not blue, we are red, white, and blue. We are Americans. We love each other, we take care of each other, we strive to include everybody, we strive to treat each and every person with utmost respect, and we also strive for justice. We strive for, if you don't want it done to you, don't do it to somebody else. And we also strive for not excusing those actors who choose to do something horrible. If you choose to burn down a building in the name of social justice, you are wrong and you should go to jail. If you choose to storm our Capitol and you choose to try to go in there, burn things down, kill our Capitol Police, you deserve to go to jail. That does not make you, either example does not make them a strong person, does not make them a person I would look up to, makes them a criminal and a thug and somebody that I hope sees full justice for what they've done. And I say that. And another thing, I just, it makes me upset because you will see people who drug and drink, just waste their life away. And you see them running around, and they could do so much better for themselves. But it requires a personal accountability, stepping up, doing the right thing, and asking themselves, what can I do to succeed?
Hmm. Well,
But I just wonder, I would say to every one of those people, think about how lucky you are in America that you don't have people trying to hunt you down and strap a bomb to you, that you don't have somebody telling you what religion you have to believe in, that women have rights over here. In Afghanistan, they'll cut their head off for taking them to a school. But I would just challenge every person in America to understand how blessed and how lucky we are, and to really think, the only way I can honor these veterans who have died, the people who have given their ultimate sacrifice, is to enjoy America and to make America the best that they can be, to check their egos, to look at themselves and say, it's not what my country can do for me, it's what can I do for my country. And these are things that I believe, values that I believe are more important than they've ever been. And I just think somebody needed to come out and say that, throw that statement out there, because you'll hear anybody who's thank a veteran. They should. But the best way we can thank and honor them and honor their legacy is to make America the best we can.
All right. And I think that just to summarize all of that, what I hear you saying is, and if it's not quite aligning with what you're saying, then correct me. But I get a good picture here that basically what you're saying is the people that are over there serving right now, fighting, dying, and even doing what you were doing, heavy equipment operating and working on different construction projects and frankly rebuilding probably in some cases, is think about what all of our service members are doing overseas and domestically with respect to the January insurrection. But think about that, and then just tell yourself, I need to appreciate all of what these service members have done, so that, like you said, I can practice whatever religion I want. I can, go to school, whether I'm male or female, black, white, it doesn't matter. I have civil liberties and protections that you're over there fighting people who would want to destroy all of those things.
Exactly.
So I think that really wraps that up. That was really well said. I honestly, Staff Sergeant Jarvis, I couldn't have said that much better myself. So, but I want to let everybody know that, this Keegan is a very good friend of mine. In transparency here, I've known Keegan for probably about a decade now, literally.
Yeah, probably
9 years, actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, I've known you for 9 years now.
9 years of stupidity?
Seems that way sometimes. But anyway, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you again for your service and for all of our service members. And, I salute you. I give you the utmost respect. Even for doing jobs that you don't think about, as a military career, because it's not just the people who strap on a rifle or go and have to man a sniper or jump out of an Apache helicopter. There's guys that are rebuilding and doing the structures over there to supporting those other guys who are, on the front lines and all that. And
I would say that every person in the military has a job to do, and they're all important. I wouldn't rank them in a matter of importance. I would tell you that the special operators who probably the very few that I've ever met and the very few retired, I will tell you that they are extremely humble. And I will tell you that they know how brave they are. They are very good people, and they know what they're willing to do. But I'll tell you, a lot of them that I've ever met will not look down on you. They won't say, well, you're just a stupid pogue, a person other than a grunt. They won't generally look at you like that. I mean, generally speaking, I think that they appreciate every job that allows them to do what they do. And I would challenge every military person to understand that there's a place for everybody in the military, and you could do great things in any capacity.
Yeah. All right. Well, Staff Sergeant Jarvis, that's all the time we have for today. But again, thank you so much for everything you've done for this country. So again, thank you.
I say it's an honor and a pleasure. Sometimes I don't lie very well.
That's okay. That's all the time we have today, folks. Join us next Sunday, 4 p.m. Central. Thanks again to Staff Sergeant Jarvis. Have a great Memorial Day. God bless America. We will see you next week.